It's a secret. Who is the most underrated player on the New York Giants? That is the question I want to start today's show with. When you take a look at the 53-man roster for the Giants, which player do you think does not get enough love from the national media? Comment that player's name down in the comment section right now. Shh, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody, Vinny Pip. 3 secret superstars on the Giants roster, according to SB Nation. They put out an article which was on BigBlueView.com, the Giants affiliate for SB Nation, and they talked about 3 secret superstars. So let's talk about it. The first person they mentioned was Tyrone Tracy, the second-year running back for Big Blue. Had a rookie season that I think exceeded everybody's expectations. And really, it was a season that probably and could have been cut relatively shortly. You remember early on in training camp, or it was a training camp or joint practices, he had to be carted off and had his leg put in an air cast, and everyone thought the season was over. But he returned to practice 2 days later and went on to have one of the best running back rookie seasons the Giants have had outside of Saquon Barkley, where he had 192 carries for 839 yards and 5 touchdowns. And he was the guy that really Giants fans fell in love with. He ran hard, showed off explosiveness, everything you want in a young back. And I'm expecting him to take a leap from what he did in 2024 to 2025. One thing I want to see him do a little bit better is making reads at the line of scrimmage and getting downhill. Maybe not rushing to the line of scrimmage. He was one of the backs that had some of the least amount of time behind the line of scrimmage, and maybe that's because the holes weren't there for the Giants' offensive line, and he saw a crease and he went, which I don't mind. I think he can add some more creativity to his running style. Also had 38 grabs for 284 yards. We'll talk about the receiving in a little bit, but it's the Giants' running back depth chart that really has him as the bona fide RB1. He's going to walk into camp as RB1, and he'll most likely be the back that starts the season with the most carries. But the Giants also made an investment in the NFL draft again at the RB position in Cam Skattebo, and it'll be interesting to see how those two are really used by Joe Shane, Brian Dable, and Mike Kafka during the entire season. When it comes to Tracy and how he can improve, I want to see him be a better pass catcher, which is something I think that's somewhat hard to digest for myself and other Giants fans, considering he was a wide receiver in college before he changed to being a running back. And everyone will be like, well, Marshall, that's why he changed to running back. Well, it looks like he's never played receiver at times. His hands aren't all that soft. I feel like he tracks the ball somewhat weird. And this is a guy that had some success at a D1 level at the receiver spot. So don't tell me that's why he changed. He got it done, and he got a scholarship for it, so he has some skills there, and I want to see him continue to grow on those. That way he can stay on the field on third down. Will there be a second-year jump for Tracy? I think that is what we're all wondering. Was the best version of Tracy what we saw in his rookie year, as he is a 25-year-old player at this point, not a young back by any means, despite only being in the NFL for a year? Like, who is Tyrone Tracy? What is he going to be in his final peak form? I'm curious about it. I'm also curious about who's going to get more carries for the Giants this year. Sounds like this front office and Brian Dable really like Cam Skattebo as a player and a runner. And I could kind of see him towards the end of the year starting to get more of those carries. So which one of these young backs leads the Giants in carries? Type the jersey number of that player. The next player that SB Nation has listed as a secret superstar is Chauncey Golston, the guy that came over in NFL free agency from the NFC East rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm super pumped up about what he is going to be. SB Nation labeled him as the undrafted free agent signing. Underrated. I can't read. Underrated free agent signing. Shout out to producer Reed for catching me on the ones and twos there. Underrated free agent signing, and I actually really agree with that. And he's been one of those guys that I think has flown under the radar just because of Abdul Carter and Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence. But this is someone that has produced at a pretty high level in the NFL before, and the Giants gave him a sizable contract, 3 years for $19 million. He was the Azeez Ojulari replacement, and Ojulari left for essentially the veteran minimum, and this guy's making almost $6.5 million per year. What I like about him is he can line up outside the tackle. He can line up on the inside shoulder shade of the offensive tackle. He can line up at defensive tackle. He is very multiple in where he can line up, and had 5.5 sacks last year, 37 pressures, 30 stops. A stop is any play that is deemed an unsuccessful play for the offense, and he had 30 of those. So he's going to come to this Giants team and maybe be thought of as an afterthought, but if you're watching today's show, I don't want you to do that. He's had some nice success as well when it comes to his Pro Football Focus grades. He can get after the passer. He could grow as well when it comes to being able to get off blocks and make plays at the line of scrimmage. But I'm excited about him and really just being extra depth to this Giants pass rush, because you have Burns, you have Thibodeau, and you have Carter, but you got a fourth guy who is probably the best fourth edge rusher on any team in the National Football League in Golston. And you still have Dexter Lawrence, who is going to make life easier for everybody because there's always four hands on Lawrence trying to stop him. So he's going to come in, be fresh, and be able to make plays and cause havoc for the Giants defense. And I'm actually saying, like, he's my sleeper this year on the defense. Nobody's talking about it. No one even really acknowledges Chauncey Golston as a part of this team. I was really excited when he signed. I do live in Dallas, Texas. That is where Chat Sports headquarters are. That's where they pay me to cover the Giants. So if you want to be the person that says, Marsh, you live in Dallas, you can't be a Giants fan. Well, take a hike. I got to watch a lot of him. I got to hear a lot about him from people that work here that are Dallas Cowboys fans. And when he signed here, they're like, yo, you guys got a really good player, and he's going to be a sneaky stud. And according to SB Nation, he's a secret superstar. So excited about that. One more player that I'm really pumped up to talk about, but you should be pumped up like I am about this shirt that's going to come in the mail when 4th of July is here, so I can rep my Giants and my country. Go to chatsports.com/USA Giants. That's chatsports.com/USA Giants. Let's stay on the defensive line for the third secret superstar, and this is a rookie, a guy that I was pumped up at the New York Giants selected, and that's Darius Alexander, the interior defensive lineman at Toledo. If you were here on day 2 of the NFL draft stream, I was pounding the table saying, take Darius Alexander, and they did it. And I like him for a lot of different reasons. He's very multiple in the way that he could be effective. He could be a pass rusher. He could make plays at the line of scrimmage in the run game. I also think he's one of the more pro-ready prospects in this draft, considering he's 24 years old. So there's not going to be much of a learning curve for him. He's got the athleticism, he's got the play strength, and he's got the reps as well. This past year for Toledo, 3.5 sacks, 37 pressures, 4 PBUs, 40 tackles. He's shown in back-to-back years he can get after the quarterback. He can cause disruption. And I went back and I watched, there was a video that went on Twitter where it showed all of his one-on-one pass blocking snaps at the Senior Bowl. And he was kind of dominating some of those guys, and that got me pumped up for this video, and I'm pumped up to see what he does on this defensive line. He's probably got the easiest job on the Giants. When the Giants are going to roll out with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau, and that fifth defensive lineman is, I just drew a blank, Darius Alexander, like he's going to be able to take on one-on-one blocks and get the best of them and continue to grow in this league. I'm excited about him. He's going to be facing nothing but single teams, never going to be double teamed, and he's got to make the most of that. Like, it's hard not to be hyped up about this defensive front. Like, I think I saw Pro Football Focus rated the Giants as the third best defensive line in football, and I love that. And I think there's a world where they could be the best defensive line in football. And if you can't block, you're going to have a hard time beating the New York Giants this year, and that's the MO, and that's the way they're going to have to win games. Dominate the defensive line, cause havoc, and really just make life tough for opposing quarterbacks and offenses. So that's today's show. 3 secret superstars. Shout out to SB Nation. I somewhat agree. I'm not ready to call Tyrone Tracy a superstar at this point, either with Golston, but those are going to be impactful players. Alexander, I think he does have a nice spot and a lot more room to grow in this league despite being an older rookie. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallReed_.